And we're back at the Sanctuary of Mana. I did some shuffling of abilities to bring our stats a little more in line with what I want in mind. A little more of a defensive build, to be honest. So now we have this great big sanctuary to explore and a whole bunch of similar nuisances to nuisances we've defeated in the past. That's not at all what I wanted to have happen. We're up to a banging start. Obviously, the most direct path to the end has been destroyed by those who came before us. As usual, the enemy doing us no favors.
A win is a win, no matter how grueling the battle.
That's one way to look at it. And obviously we get a whole bunch of mixed enemies from all over our past in the journey. Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves there, Munchkin. I actually don't remember the exact path through here. It's a little strange. Yes, Charlotte. We've established our character motivations and we saw the priest in Wendell. Oh, nice. Double XP bonus. Upside, we'll be ready when we can get our hands on the seeds. The downside is I'll be grinding for them. So I can knock the machine golem over. Oh, you can, but they're just really, really tough.
Clear threats. We have earned a rest.
Yeah, you can tell this place was once a place of splendor. Though these guys charging through it did it no favors. A new path has appeared. Yep, we're going to open up pathways to the area before where we came through. Which I think will be necessary to progress. Now, why am I fighting these guys again? Because there's another path back here that I saw earlier, and I want to check it out real quick to make sure I'm not overlooking anything important. You know, I have to say, gotta give Altena credit. Coming up with these machine golems would be no easy task given the nature of technology in this world. Nice. 1 point distribute, huh? I'll put it in luck just so she's not lagging it behind. So now we're gonna check this path. Which of course has some werewolf monks in it. Nice. Oh, jeez, that surprised me when Charlotte just jumps out of nowhere. Alright, so it was a dead end, but at least now I know for sure. And it's, you know, extra XP. It's not me being incompetent. Nope. Not incompetence at all.
This is my fight. No need to tremble yourself.
Thankfully, if you knock the ninja over while they're in the middle of their incantation, you do interrupt their spells. And that said, they are a copy of Hawk. And as I mentioned before, he can be a good pinch mage in the event you don't bring Angela. And yes, you can jump around that water. It's really shallow, and that area's not very big, so I didn't worry about it too much. Jeez. Machine golems just have HP for days. Thankfully, it looks like their magic defense is fairly low. This is a dead end, but we might as well explore it since we're here anyway. Thankfully, those ninjas aren't quite as tanky. Why are the tomato men in league with these people? They seem to be kind of like wild, or just kind of their own separate entity. It's just weird to me that they'd be okay working alongside these weird invading peoples. I don't know, just thinking out loud. Actually, I think the world actually has really interesting and expansive lore. It's just a matter of the games typically maintain very simple plot lines, or in the case of Secret of Mana, just plot lines that make no sense and introduce elements as they go along without rhyme or reason. I heard it postulated the game was supposed to be a PlayStation game and got changed midstream, but the timeline for that doesn't really line up since Secret of Mana came out before Trials of Mana or Seiken Densetsu 3. Which just means Legend of the Holy Sword 3, so it's not like you've been missing out on a particularly astounding title or anything. So this is the special mana statue. Unfortunately, while we're the correct level, we do not have the correct item. But we can still heal here. And don't worry, we'll be back, and we'll be back soon. Just for right now, it's out of our hands. Yeah, this would be the perfect place for a little cactus encounter, I'm just saying. This little nook. Oh yeah, and that tooltip's gonna keep popping up. Like, every time I go anywhere near that statue, it will trigger. But we're about as ready as we can be, so let's move on ahead. Now, do you need to class change in order to beat the game? Technically speaking, there is no story event or level check or anything. But you would be very hard-pressed to do so just because of sheer difficulty. Okay, guys, can you not stand in very obvious multi-hit attacks? It's a good thing I've stocked up on items recently. I mean, dying to rabbites of all things, that's like the fantasy equivalent of just being destroyed by a little fairy bunny or something. That's basically what they are. They're just like little fairy bunnies who look like fresh-level Digimon. Guys, the secret is not walking into the attack. If you manage that, you don't have to worry about dodging away from it all dramatic-like. Yeah, we are. Speaking of, another two-pointer. I'm gonna go ahead and try to push that up. Yeah, definitely want that. And next attack spell is technically Cyclone Plus, so let's go for that. Yeah, this is better. I knew there was an ability that would be a straight upgrade too, so... Oh. Daytime! Just being thorough. Having done so, we can move on. We're actually almost there. That's the mana tree right there.
Be careful! This could get ugly.
If it helps put it in perspective, you can think of the mana tree as kind of the Yggdrasil of the mana world. The exact details vary game to game because most of the game's stories are self-contained, and a lot of the continuity doesn't move between titles, but some of it does.
What is that?
That's the sword. Thankfully, because of the enemy's infighting, we're able to take this for ourselves before them. We're the chosen of the fairy. Why can't we yank it out? I mean, Lees can't equip swords, but that's besides the point.
Oh, don't rush it. You have to feel the connection to the sword in your heart.
Sword in my heart? That sounds fatal. Now I have the power.
The sword of mana. Amazing.
Well, it is supposedly the new form of the wand that created the world. It's kind of a big deal.
I cannot believe we made it this far, Fairy.
Fairy?
Huh? Fairy? Fairy? Where have you gone? Please tell me what I should do with this sword.
I'll figure it out.
Oh my!
This very tall lady is the goddess, as you might have
I am the
suspected.
shadow of the goddess of mana,
Hey,
Reese, true wielder of my sword.
Goddess of mana. Please, do you know where Fairy has gone?
Fairy was taken prisoner by the forces of evil.
because you let your guard down when it mattered least.
Please, you must go to her.
No! This is horrible! Where have they taken Fairy? How can we help her? Please, Mana Goddess!
Mana has all but disappeared from the world. Soon, the mana tree will wither and die, and I will be no more. There is nothing more that I can do for you all, except leave you with this.
Now, this does have certain
Chosen of the
implications.
mana sword, as well as your companions. May the blessings of mana be with you always.
Not the item she gave us, but the prophecy that the goddess just espoused. This means that this world can survive without mana energy. The world does not fall apart without it. Now, things may be worse. The Flammy Drum. The world may be worse for it, but it will not perish purely because there's no mana energy. Mana seems to ebb and flow in this world to a certain extent. Now, a quick item swap is necessary because remember how I mentioned how poor Vuskov was about to be replaced? Well, he's been replaced.
Fairy, I hope you are safe. Let us work together to defeat the
Given that she was, like, bound to my head, I wonder how they were able to, like, remove her from Lee's. I'd be genuinely curious if there was an explanation for that, or maybe it was just some kind of magic. Who knows? Though the world of mana is a weird, wild, and different kind of experience.
It is unwise to get in our way.
Whoa.
That's how it's done.
Yeah, I'll say, you guys blew them away before I could do very much.
Okay.
Alright, camera, come on. Thankfully, the Rabbites are not the worst kind of enemies you can encounter. I actually found the machine golems much more tiresome.
I have lost. The enemy invaded our stronghold in Dragon's Maw unopposed. Our leader, Dragon Lord, is no more. This is the end. The wizard was no match for his foes. I too will disappear. The Dragon Lord's dark magic was all that sustained me. An already departed soul.
Wait! What foes do you mean? Who took Fairy? Tell me immediately!
I don't think he can. Now, if you haven't started putting it together already, the character plot lines are paired off. Every male and female duo in the game has a linked storyline. What we saw there was basically the resolution of Duran and Angela's storyline. The Crimson Wizard is now no more, and the Dark Knight is equally a matter of history. So we move on. 2 storylines down, 4 to resolve.
What? Gormond, are you the one who took Fairy?
Don't be ridiculous. It wasn't me. If it were, I would have done away with all of you and stolen the sword instead of waiting here.
He raises a fair point.
Do not joke.
Oh, please. I'm speaking hypothetically. It pains me to see the sword of mana right in front of me, but I have orders to leave you whole. The one who stole Fairy from you also obliterated my master, the Masked Mage, along with his entire fortress, Mirage Palace. My hands are tied. If I don't do as they say, they won't let me live. And so I'm only here as a messenger.
He's very honest about the situation.
Yes. I'm well aware that they will do away with me once I've fulfilled my purpose. I'm merely cooperating until I can make my escape.
He's very frank about this.
Oh, there I go, rambling on again. I'm sure you can tell that your enemy is the epitome of evil at this point. They're waiting at the entrance to the sanctuary. There, that's done. Word of advice, it's best to just admit defeat. Farewell.
Farewell, my foot. Where's he, you meanie?
Ah, that's showing him Charlotte.
Who? Oh, right. The magic corrupting him is probably lifted now that my master is dead. I heard it left him quite confused, however. We lost track of him, but good riddance. I have better things to worry about than his well-being. Like mine. Goodbye.
As said, very honest for a bad guy.
Heath is still lost. Poor Heath. I promise I'll find you as soon as we defeat this bad guy.
So, that just resolved Charlotte, rather. Again, old habits die hard. Charlotte and Kevin's plot lines just got resolved there. So you might notice there's only 2 characters left. And it's pretty obvious where it's going now, right? Because these two clowns are here.
Stop! Where are you taking Fairy?
I should have known that the Princess of Laurent was worthy of the Mana Sword. Pity your brother wasn't. His name was Elliot, correct?
What? What happened to Elliot?
If you want your brother and your fairy back, you must come to Navarl with the Sword of Mana.
Why not try to take it now?
No, wait! Stop! Elliot. Oh. No one else could touch the sword, so they must have been waiting for you. That's why they took Fairy hostage.
Right, the sword is a essence of purity. Those with corrupt, twisted hearts cannot wedge it from the roots of the mana tree.
We do not know what Belladonna is plotting, but I will not allow it after what she did to my father and kingdom.
They're welcome to try, but it won't work.
Nor will I let her and her foul people keep my brother. Let us go to Navarl and take back Fairy and Elliot!
And off we go. I really should just make that one of the hotkeys at this point, because I'm going to be using nothing but Flammy to travel from now on. Ships and even Vuskov are now antiquated. Because Flammy not only can fly us anywhere and is much faster and isn't inhibited by land masses, but can also land us places that no other mode of transport can get us. Now, any of those beams of light, those are places we can land. And we'll be using the better part of them before we're all said and done here. But first things first. We can dive straight into Navarl Fortress. No questions asked. Navarl Fortress.
Fairy is in danger. We must hurry. Belladonna better not have done anything to Fairy. I don't have time for this. Okay.
Thankfully, we're well acquainted with ninja tricks by now, having liberated Laurent already.
Of course we won.
But of course, as you might have put it together, Lise and Hawk share their major plot beats. And again, Tomato Men. That's so strange.
Really helping.
Nice. Well, that makes up for that one we had to use earlier. Now, I'll be honest, this is one of the places I haven't explored very deep into the game. Mostly because I have only really done it during Hawk's flashback.
Let's work together to
And during the flashback, certain areas are locked off, same as Laurent, just to simplify so the player can't get lost.
We won admirably.
But just like Volsena and Laurent, this place is designed to double as a dungeon. At least during certain plot events. Let's see. Probably should up her strength, and then we'll start working on intelligence.
Hostile entity! Be careful!
While they may have the element of surprise, the ninjas still have very low HP, and, well, it's pretty obvious when they're using one of their incantations. The danger, as Angela just kindly demonstrated on our behalves, is getting caught between their attacks when there's more than one.
And with that, peace has returned.
Not so subtle a monster warning.
Stay true.
Wormwood. That's a reference to the Book of Revelation. A terrible meteorite falls into Earth's water supply and taints it, making it so you cannot drink it. Naming a demon such a thing does give a rather apocalyptic portent. It's shut fast. There must be some way to open it. Perhaps we should look around. So, let's explore. This is one of those times the game kind of lets go of your hand. You won't get a guide for where to go, and therefore I have no idea where to look. Just being candid. Now, thankfully, heal spot, which I will certainly use to my advantage.
This one's so eagerly.
It looks like those things track you really accurately, but they don't. If you dodge at the last second, it pretty much has no chance of hitting you because of the narrow scope of the actual target.
That was easy.
I think that actually just takes me back downstairs where I was. But I feel like I should explore a little more before I do. I don't know. Something about that symbol just, like, kind of... I guess it drew my attention, and I thought it was something more significant.
This could get ugly.
I think I just barged into this dude's bedroom. I don't think he was even doing anything wrong. I think I scared him more than he scared me. Ah, just stole someone's candy. That's a truly unforgivable act. Looks like there'd normally be shops there if this were a functioning town instead of the abandoned, blighted wastes for dark rituals. But I'll certainly take all the free stuff. Earthen Brace. Is that any good? That's the real question. Cancels out Petrify attacks. It's pretty strong. I'm going to give it to Angela, because keeping our healer from being silenced is still a pretty big deal. Wait, I can't jump over that? Really? Oh, nice. I'll certainly take a free weapon upgrade. It's pretty good looking, too. Not bad. Since elves didn't make it, I can guarantee they didn't sabotage it.
This is my fight. No need to trouble yourselves. Holy balls! That was nothing.
Yeah, upside to having Navarl as one of your in-game legs is enemies have low HP values. Downside is it's made by ninjas, so you gotta figure out a bunch of ninja traps in order to get anywhere. Thankfully, if I can knock them over pretty consistently, I can stop them from attacking. Didn't realize that guy was still alive. Jeez.
Energy is amazing. I feel so powerful.
We'll be very powerful by the time we can actually class change, so there's that. Let's see. Yeah, I should probably bump that up a little bit. And right, we're working on getting that. Very nice. Alright. Now, there are some doorways in the south we didn't go through, so we're going to check those next. As I recall, this requires a bit of in and out between the exterior areas and the interior in order to actually find everything. Some chocolate. Alright, so that's a no-go. Oh, these guys again. I forgot. Thankfully, a lot of Lisa's combos involve her actually jumping or sliding forward. It means that you can kind of incorporate her attacks into your dodging. And by the way, if you get overwhelmed in this place, you can use the flamey drum and just leave. Now, obviously, you'll have to come back and finish what you started, but you're not, like, locked in or anything. They're not going to do anything that annoying. Yes, I know. And I wanted to say fairy. But in case you haven't noticed, we're dealing with a bunch of angry, evil ninjas.
This is my fight. No need to trouble yourself. Well fought. This ought to help. You have improved greatly.
Eventually, I'm just going to run out of rooms to check and find the solution somehow. Now, I believe most ninjas are either going to be wood or dark affinity. So I think it's very interesting that she seems like using dark magic on them. But if it works, I'm not going to complain about results. Not what I'm here for. You know, I've just been ambushed in every room, so I'm only surprised that I wasn't surprised. So, I'm going to backtrack just a little. Try to see if I overlooked anything. Door is shut. Yes, it is. I assume that's the door is shut and I cannot open it, rather than Lee's being passive-aggressive. Doesn't seem to be her style. Alright, they have a bunch of sentries and guards. Something over here must be important, right? Or I can just say, no guys, I'm not stupid. I'm just grinding. You know, to make the endgame a little easier. Going back to my earlier thought, you're not forced to class change, and since you can dodge spells now, I think beating this game without class changing would be its own legitimate category of challenge run. I think it would technically be possible, too, if you were very careful.
We should work together.
Ah, I went backwards, didn't I? Well, I went backwards much further than I intended, so I should say. I mean, it's literally a ninja hideout. What did I expect, right? Take that free heal, even though I knew it was going to involve another batch of assassins. Behold the power of the Munchkin Cannon. Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, basically what I said. Alright. Direct route it is. Because it's a shop, I still can't jump over the counter. I don't even know what to say to that.
Careful! It's the enemy!
I don't think these guys are light affinity, so I'm not sure why she's relying so heavily on her dark magic. But if it makes her happy... I get the feeling there's more going on in there than I realize. Okay, game. You have stumped the chump. Get the feeling I'll be fast-forwarding a bit of this. We've explored every room in here. As much as I, appreciate the game trying to respect my intelligence and not necessarily hold my hand through every single puzzle, this is one of those times where I'd be okay with them giving me a little bit of a clue in what direction I need to head. Yeah, I'm just grinding, guys. I'm not stupid at all. Shut fast. Unless you're ready to open it, perhaps we should look around. Well, free stuff. Of course. Killing ninjas is basically just one of my to-do list chores at this point. Take out the trash, feed the cat, kill the ninjas. Don't suppose this cactus holds any secrets? No, of course not. Probably should strive towards the stamina and strength up, just so she has the HP to weather heavy attacks. Okay. Okay, to preserve the sanity of everyone watching and to maybe make this a little less painful for all involved, I'm just going to jump ahead to where I find the solution, and I will see you guys there.